Hi there, it's Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. You joined me from a familiar location, but on a day that's been very different. So I had an early night last night. I went to bed about 8:30, 9ish, which meant I woke up well rested this morning. But albeit to a message that was very sad. I'm currently working late, so I've got the laptop behind me, so you'll just have to bear with that. But yeah, I received a message this morning from my good friend Mark, who lives back in my hometown, to let me know that one of our mutual friends had unfortunately passed away. So I thought I'd dedicate this vlog to talking a bit about them, a few memories I have with them, just as a way to remember what they were like. So my friend's name was Emma. She was about a year older than I was, and we first met when I was 18. I had just finished working at the Tesco next to the pub she worked at as a barmaid, and I was working the shift work down at my old support job, and she was always a laugh. So I used to go into my local pub, which was the Horse and Groom at the time, and I forget exactly how we met. I forget the exact circumstances how we met. Maybe it was me and her both being smokers at the time, meeting over a cigarette while she was on a break in the pub, maybe over a drink maybe that evening, I don't know, but she was never one to really stick around for drinks because she lives slightly out of town. And so we had this, friendship. Her and I would talk about day-to-day stuff over the bar when I was a young man and still drinking fairly heavily, and smoking several, loads a day. But that's beside the point. So I used to annoy her by calling her up on my phone, knowing when she was working shift, while I was walking to the pub for a lunch, to let her know what my order was and to get a pint ready. And this would go on for months of me doing this whenever I had a lunchtime off. And it was, and she would begrudgingly do so, and it was all fun. I've got one of my first photos on my Facebook is one that she took after a night out on the drink, of me being very tall and thin still, wearing like an old fleecy jumper, and yeah, she was always a laugh. She was always the kind of, especially when she was my age, when we were both when we were both in our 19 or 20s. She was a very loud, outspoken character. She was a lot of fun. She would always light up a room when she was laughing. She loved playing card games. She loved having a drink. She loved playing board games. She lived in a huge manor house out in the countryside, which I got the pleasure of going to twice. The first time, just as a guest, for food for some reason, and the second time was when I attended her wedding. I think 5, 6 years ago, maybe 7 now. And unfortunately, when I moved away from home 2 years ago, and even a little bit beforehand, her and I were very distant. We didn't speak anymore. She was still married to a friend of mine, albeit more of an acquaintance, really. We had drifted apart through work and her basically being very stay-at-home during her marriage, and she was sort of trying to study and get herself a job and things like this. And it's a shame that her and I drifted apart, but she was a lovely girl, and I have some very good memories of her. And it is a shame to have to say goodbye to her at such a young age. I really hope that I can. I've struggled to find words in a situation like this. I just thoughts with her family at this point, because it's very shocking news to hear, and some of my friends aren't coping very well with it, and it's it's a very sad time. But I just thought I'd take a moment to just talk about it, because unfortunately memories are all you will end up having of people like this, and it's important to express those memories, to tell people about what you knew about them, and the time you spent together. And I have many more stories about Emma, but I won't go on and on. I should keep some things to myself, and not throw them up on the internet. So yeah. So thanks for listening to me ramble on. And I will see you tomorrow.